Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome to another Team Doctor Tuesday, and today we are going to go over two things. Now, I just want to let you guys know that there was obviously no video last week, but that was because I've had in between the last video and this video about three finals, three final papers, four final projects, and I'm still working on one or two final things as my semester is finishing up. I'm about 3 days away from being completely done, and I was able to grind a little bit on stream. I got the third inning boss. I picked Chipper. I sold him for a little over 80,000. A lot of my stubs, as you can see, I'll move my head. They're not there anymore. I had over 200,000 stubs yesterday. I bought the 25,000 live series player. I got a Cunha, and he was going for around 25K, so I didn't really lose much with that. And then I went ahead and finished all of the collections except for, I believe, 6. I need the most expensive diamonds, pretty much. I did buy the headliner packs. You guys know I always say don't buy packs. I always buy the headliner packs. They've treated me so well in the past. Um, they have a 1 in 10 chance of being a diamond compared to a show pack. So I get a little greedy, but it's whatever. Today we're going to go over the third inning, and we're also going to go over some of the future stars. Now, since I haven't been streaming and didn't make a video last week, there are no teams for me to look over. I could look over some teams, but they're about a weekish old at this point, and a lot of them have been improving. So if you do want me to take a look at your team, send in a screenshot after this video. I'd be more than happy to put it in next week's video. Now, we're going to go over the third inning and some of the future stars cards. So, third inning, pretty easy, I would say, to get these stars done. These daily missions are very useful, right? So 3, 5, 7, there's 9 stars just from doing those daily missions. Now, if you haven't done these dailies in a little bit, they'll actually refresh. As you can see, it says get new missions in. Every 24 hours, I believe, you get a new set of missions. And I got a little lucky. I had 2 or 3 missions actually that were 5-star rewards, and I was able to get 200 and I believe 60 stars right here. 70, 30, that's 100 plus another 30 plus 75, so that's 205 plus another 20. So I was able to get 225 stars just from doing all of these. The showdown, the event and battle royale wins, the breakout series players, I just drafted them in BR. Now, as many of you guys know, I'm still not playing ranked until some of the bug fixes are done. I'm very happy in the direction that the game is going. I think we can all agree that at some points this game is very frustrating to play, but it is slowly but surely improving, and I just want to give a lot of credit to people at SDS that are working on it, whether we see it or not. It's very hard with the current climate out there to work on the game, and I'm sure they're doing their best. Just think about it, right? They're not able to communicate in person. As somebody that is about to graduate with a computer science degree, as someone that has done programming projects multiple times, and nothing to this scale, but I understand how difficult it can be communicating and working on a bug fix when you can't either A, recreate the issue, B, be with your team members to communicate, or C, interact with people that are giving you feedback, right? If you create some sort of program or anything like that, it's not going to be perfect. There's going to be bugs, and props to them for, with everything going on, still trying their best to fix everything. You know, the one thing that you cannot knock SDS for is the amount of free cards that they give us, right? Look at Madden, look at NBA 2K, look at FIFA, look at all these other sports games that put everything behind a paywall, right? You are able to get 94 overall players, which pretty close to the max overall, for free. Props to SDS for that. To get these stars, definitely play the Battle Royale or event games. If you don't have a lot of stubs, go into event games. If you lose 30 event games but you win 10, boom, there's 15 stars. Plus, for every 3 innings that you play, it's about 2,000 XP. And every 2,000 XP, you can see level right here, about every 2,000 XP, you get a free star. So by beating the conquest, beating these 10 battle royale games or 10 rank games or event games, you also are getting stars from doing that. So completing the showdown gives you 70. Doing both of these gives you 30. If you're able to play ranked, you only need to do that instead of ranked or battle royale or events. So if you do these 10 ranked games, you actually are able to get 30 stars from that, in addition to the presumed, what would that be, 27 stars? 27 stars? Yeah, 27, around there, because that'd be 90 innings. You get 1 star for every 3 innings, roughly. So that would be probably 27 to 33 stars that you're getting in that range. Do the conquest, you're playing at least 10 3-inning games. That's another 10 stars. And then if you have the voucher, that's great. There's another 75 stars. And the breakout stars, those are pretty cheap to get. Now, taking a look at some of these bosses, these are very good looking cards. Shane Victorino, not much pop, but great fielding across the board, great speed, great vision. Switch hitter. All 3 bosses are switch hitters. That is absolutely huge. I think that this card could easily be your leadoff hitter, your starting center fielder, especially with the cards we have right now. This is a great option there in center field. Chipper. Now, as many of you guys that have been following me for a while know, I have not hit well with any Chipper Jones cards historically. I think last year, including offline and ranked, I went something like 1 or 2 for 55 with the chippers. Right? I just can't hit with this card, but I use this card a little bit in Showdown, so if you're like me and struggled in the past, give it a shot in the Showdown, right? Showdown is a great way to get XP. You can easily grind the bosses like that. Get some practice with the bosses as well. Take all 3 if you're not sure who to get. Use all 3. See who you do well with. Give them a shot if you struggle with them in the past, because I know I have. But this card was a little bit different. I think I hit like 6 home runs in the Showdown. Great vision, great power from both sides. Hits lefties a little bit better, but still absolutely does well against righties. Defense is where he struggles, for sure. Speed, about average. 64 speed isn't going to kill you on the base paths. It's not going to be a Trey Turner, but it's still a good card. This Brian Roberts, now I will say, this Brian Roberts is a great card. However, I do recommend going with the other 2 bosses if you are going to choose one, and I'll explain why very shortly. But if you want this card, absolutely go and get it. To me, this is the potential to be the Roberto Alomar of this year's game. Great contact, decent power, great vision, great defense, great speed, great vision. This is a great card to have. I will say, I think there is a better option for this card that you can get free, and we're going to talk about that. All right. Here is the card that I think is a better option, and I'll explain to you why I think it's a better option. First of all, a little bit better speed, a little bit better defensively.
All right, if you do
really
not
good pop,
have the Didi Gregorius,
but this
April
card is
Rewards card,
completely
then I really
free.
think this is the
You can
shortstop
get this
for you.
card from
He's
grinding innings,
in,
like I
Rays
said,
players,
primarily
grinding
right-handed
team
affinities.
hitting
Right, this
position.
is a team affinity.
He has
future
great
star,
speed, great
Vidal
defense,
Brujan.
really good power.
Looks
From
amazing.
the left-handed side,
Okay,
good
this
against
card can play
righties,
short, this
good
card
against
can play
lefties,
center field.
a little bit
This
of
card
a
has
lower
great speed,
vision
and like I
player.
said,
However,
very similar.
I really have seen
to
this
the Brian
card
Roberts
absolutely
card,
hit
which is why I
nukes
think that you
online.
can pick up Chipper or Shane Victorino instead, and pick this card up for your second base or shortstop position. This is a really good card, and this transitions over to the future stars. There are future stars. We haven't talked about them. I have unlocked one future star so far, and that's Jorge Mateo. Pretty much after Friday, once my semester is officially over, I'm going to be grinding this game like crazy. These future stars cards are amazing. I'm going to update my spreadsheet that I made for the Team Affinity Face of the Franchise cards and update that with these Team Affinity Future Stars cards. I'm going to go over what I think are the best ones right here, right now. So, first and foremost, Mr. Clark Schmidt. Now, I'm going to go ahead and move myself since these fielding stats, as you can see, they're not that important. What is important in any starting pitcher is their pitch selection and their speed differential. And Clark Schmidt has both. He's got balls that go this way. He's got balls that go that way. His curveball dives, his changeup dives, his sinker, great movement, and his pitch speed differential is huge. The 2-mile-an-hour difference on the fastball and the sinker is pretty important, right? That little dip might get somebody to swing over it. The slider and four seam is very different. The curveball and sinker slash four seamer are great. Great per nine stats. I think that this is one of the top 3 future stars cards. And he is a Yankee. I'm a little biased, but I'm very excited to use this card. We went over this Vidal Brujan card, but I do think, again, for the reasons I stated earlier, great fielding, switch hitter, decent pop versus righties. Not the best against lefties. He's got double power, but great defensive, almost like another Roberto Alomar from last year. All right, this is going to be the first of the multiple third basemen that we're going to highlight. Now, if you get upset because your favorite team's player isn't on this list, or you think, oh, this player should be on this list, let me know what other future stars, if I don't name them, I should include in a future video, and which ones I should check out for myself. Yeah, let me know in the comments below if I miss any, or if you agree or disagree with any of the ones that I said. Now, the reason why I'm picking the ones that I'm picking are 3 reasons. 1, I'm looking at if they are a switch hitter or if they're a lefty batter in a predominantly right-handed position, right? So typically we see a lot of third basemen are right-handed batters, and you guys might be struggling to get lefties in your lineup. So I'm trying to highlight players like Nolan Jones that have exceptional hitting and bat from a different side, right? We see a lot of left-handed first basemen, not a lot of lefty third baseman, so I'm highlighting him for this reason. The second reason I'm highlighting some of these cards are their secondary positions, right? If you have a great card that like this card and you have them on your bench, right? Let's just say your first baseman is struggling hitting that day, or your third baseman, or your right or left fielder, right? A card like this, if he's not good enough to crack your starting lineup, he is a great, versatile bench player, especially with that power that he has, that you could put him on the bench. And the third reason is I think that these cards are a great option to either work for or are better options than some of the paid cards that you can get. What I mean by that is I think that this Nolan Jones card is better than pretty much every third baseman card in the community marketplace that you can buy. Now that we went over that, Nolan Jones fits all three of those, obviously. Lefty at third base, great power, a little bit lower vision. You might struggle on Legend or Hall of Fame. Great contact, outstanding fielding, right? His actual fielding stat is a little lower, but great arm and arm accuracy. You could definitely stick him in left field if he's not good enough for third base, but this is a great looking card. All right, the next person I want to highlight is Alex Kirilloff. Now, this card I've heard just absolutely dominates. And as you can see, this card is nothing but a pure hitter, right? He's got pretty good defense, right? Not going to knock his defense. This card can hit for power. This card can hit for contact. This card is just going to get on base, especially with his high vision, right? Stick him in left field, stick him in right field. His speed might hurt him a little bit, but this guy is at least a bench bat for most of the teams that I've looked at these past couple of days. All right, this card, in my opinion, has the potential to be in every single lineup in the game, even over players like Shane Victorino that do bring the switch hitting aspect. He's got great speed, a great arm, great fielding, pretty good vision, and really good power and contact versus both righties and lefties. He can play the entire outfield. I know this is going to sound silly, but he's tall. If you guys haven't played against Judge in the outfield, Judge, he just seems to get to more balls than you'd expect with his height. And 6'4" is a pretty decent height for a center fielder, especially with his speed and reaction time out there. I think this card is, like I said, has the potential to be an everyday outfielder for a lot of the teams that I look at. All right. Another third baseman. We have Josh Jung. Now, kind of breaks the mold a little bit of what I said I'm looking for the future stars. He bats righty in a primarily right-handed batting position. He has no secondary positions, and his speed isn't the best. However, he has great defense, and I think this card is up there with one of the best right-handed bench bats you can have. Right, you can stick him in the field if you need, if you don't have a Sandberg to play third base, you don't have some of these other players to play third base, but this card looks amazing. All right, the next card I want to look at is Nick Lodolo. Now, this card, in my opinion, does not have the best pitch repertoire out there. However, there are not many high-level left-handed pitchers in the game at this point. And this is a card that you can get for free with really decent per 9 stats. That sinker is pretty good. The slider is good. The four seam is good. I do wish that he had a curveball. But if you were one of those people that likes to take people out of the bullpen, right, and maybe you're missing a lefty, I really think this card could be for you, right? This card would make a great, maybe 7, 8, 9 guy if you're in the lead in a ranked game. If you're looking for a lefty out of the bullpen and you want to use your 5th starter as a pseudo bullpen guy, in my opinion, this card gives you that versatility. If you look at his pitch repertoire, I really think that he performs more like a reliever. And for that reason, I think if you are struggling with lefties, even in your starting rotation, this is definitely the card for you to. All right, here is the card that I am most excited for. And I'll tell you why. I think this card has the Matt Olson face of the franchise vibes for me. And that card absolutely destroyed for me. This is a left-handed batter in a primarily right-handed batter position. Really good defense, decent speed, great contact. The only drawbacks for this card, in my opinion, are the vision and the speed. This is a great looking card. This Gourmand card, I'm very excited to use. I saw him in action in my tournament. He absolutely destroyed. You guys have been around Twitch or YouTube since this card came out. I'm sure you've heard how good of a card this is. He's got the outlier on his sinker. He has a great pitch repertoire. He's got sinker, slider, four seam, changeup, and curveball. He's got pretty good per 9 stats. He's got great quirks, and he's a fireballer, right? This is one of those cards that is hard to hit online. Now, I do think this card is worth getting, but I will warn you guys. The better opponents you play, if you use this card, they will most likely have seen it already. I've seen this card about 8 or 9 times in the event games that I was getting while I was grinding the 3rd inning. The first time I saw him, he was definitely tough to hit. I eventually treated him like Nolan Ryan. I let him lose his control, took a bunch of pitches, got him out. By the 3rd or 4th time I saw him, I was able to hit him. I think I hit 3 home runs against him in like the 3rd or 4th game that I faced him. If you expect this card to come in and absolutely lock every single opponent that you face down, right, just realize that a lot of people have that same mentality, and you're seeing this card just as much as you're seeing Newhouser and Kluber. This card right here, in my opinion, looks like it plays above its stats. From what I saw him do in the tournament, right, he's got very good fielding, very good speed, right? A little bit of a weaker arm. That is typical in left field. Typically, the strongest arm goes in right. The next strongest arm in the outfield is usually the center fielder. And the left fielder is where you can put people that are mostly better at hitting, right? Look at some of the power hitters that they have in left field. Right? He has everything good about him except for his arm and his power versus lefties. Right? About everything else on this card is insane. I genuinely think that there is not a single terrible future star cards. There are obviously ones that are better than others. There are a few starting pitchers that I didn't go over. But for the most part, all of these future star cards are excellent additions to the majority of the player base in this game. All right, to end this video off, we're going to take a look at my team. Pretty much nothing has changed. I did pick up Walter Johnson. Like I said, I picked up a lot of the starting pitchers and a lot of the diamonds, finished some collections. Same thing with the bullpen. I have a fairly decent amount of bullpen arms in reserve. For my starting team, Yelich is in left, Judge is in center, Gallo is in right, Jorge Mateo is in shortstop position now. I do need to fix my lineup a little bit, but I'm pretty happy with where my team is. We do have some people I could put on the bench as well. Acuna, Freeman, Lindor. These are all options that I'm gonna play around with. You know, Ketel Marte. These are all guys that I definitely want to put on my bench. Actually, especially JT Real Muto. I forgot I bought him last night. But these are all good-looking cards. I got Willie Stargell as a lefty bat, Matt Olson as a lefty bat, Alonso and Correa as my righty bats. But I'm very happy with where my team is headed. And like I keep saying, as soon as school is over, I'm really hoping to grind as many showdowns as I can. And I will hopefully be putting a new showdown video next week up of the American League and National League, just to give you guys some tips. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If you have any suggestions or any feedback, Let me know in the comments below. If you guys enjoyed, please consider subscribing. I appreciate you guys helping me hit 100 subscribers. Pretty crazy. For me, I don't really make as much YouTube content as other people, and I'm hoping to change that once school is over, especially while I look for a job. But I appreciate you guys. If you want to send me your teams, my PSN will be somewhere on the screen. And hopefully you guys enjoyed, and make sure you guys are staying safe. Have a great night.